Hey folks, Vortex here and welcome to my review of the Symphonium Audio Meteor. These are a more of a premium model, so these are over £500 as of this video, and they use a 4BA per side, but they don't sound like that, which is a good thing, which I'll talk about later on. And yet, as usual, for disclaimers, I like to thank Sound Jedi for lending me his unit to try. So thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. As you can see on the packaging, that's like a meteor strike. And yeah, let's just get into it. So I've already done the unboxing just to save a bit of time. So that's what it looks like. Small size, massive sound. I agree with that. They do sound pretty good. This is what it comes in. Quite simple. I don't mind that. It's kind of like Velcro, not Velcro, like it's like a slight soft material, but yeah, it's not too bad. So it comes in that carry case. Some tips. There's two on there already. Obviously a brush. Obviously there's a little bit of padding there. Bit of paperwork in there. Some tips. So foam is on the right. Obviously that was a silicone. Obviously in there was silicone as well. And yeah, so onto these bad boys. So this is the obviously right unit. You can see like the effect they've got on the back of the like a meteor strike or something. It's not too bad. And that's the shell. So straight away I preferred these compared to like the Tritons, which I did before. I think they overall was a good sound as well, but the fit really put me off them. And this is better basically. Wait for it to focus. So they're quite light as well. And this is the cable, so it's not too bad at all. So you can have a good look now. Quite high quality. Obviously it's 2-pin. And that's it. So as usual, like I do, I'll graph these. I'll do my impressions and see if they're comfortable. Tuning or blah blah blah. The usual works. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys and gals, because there's women here as well. I'll see you in the future. Yeah, folks, so welcome to my review of the Symphonium Audio Meteor. And I forgot to show this. It comes with this kind of little canvas bag as well. It's kind of cool. It's a bit different. And yeah, so onto these are. So comfort to me is very important. So that's the actual look of it. I've actually used this for gaming for a good few hours today, and the actual comfort was actually fine. Really, it's not the most secure, but because I was sitting down as well, obviously I wasn't moving, it was perfectly fine really. But yeah, the fit's good. Build quality seems good as well, as it should be for like over £500. And yeah, so pound sensitivity. These are harder to drive than normal. So just bear that in mind. But if you've got a decent, clean source, you have no problems. You don't need anything crazy. Just something decent enough should be fine. So micro details was actually pretty good. Not the best I've heard, but very good. These are a 4 balanced armature set. They don't sound like armatures though, which is one thing. It sounds like you get a nice DD setup because it sounds more realistic. Not fully, but it sounds very. It does sound quite natural, not fully natural, quite natural. And yes, so overall sound signature as well is U-shaped, which you'll see in a bit. And yeah, they do sound real, which is cool considering it's a BA set. It reminded me of the Soft Ears RSV, not the tuning, but like overall it sounds like real. So let's bear that in mind. And yeah, this show you a good look at them. So that's just what they look like. Obviously it's mirrored. And yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously 2-pin as well. Yeah, seems fine. Lip on the nozzle. So imaging and stage was actually both pretty good actually. Again, I tried it with some gaming and it seemed fine. And the stage seems fine as well. Like a lot of BAs just fall off like a cliff. These have got really good extension as well, which I'm quite happy with. And anyway, yeah, let's say go to the graph. So like I said before, these are U-shaped. So as you can see, they do have quite a lot of bass. Now, it's not like DD bass. DD bass is probably still better, so that's why hybrids exist. But considering it's armature, or armatures used for the low end, it's actually not bad at all. Again, I don't think you would ever beat a dynamic driver for slam, but it's close. It's like very close. It's just not the same. My pair here has a slight imbalance in the bass. I didn't really notice that, to be honest. As you can see, just in the lower mid range, you can see it tails off. So it's just a dynamic driver imbalance on this set, but I didn't really notice it. But yeah, they are U-shaped, so as you can see, it is elevated. And yeah, not too bad at all. Again, not as good as a DD in my opinion, but still not a bad set. So mid-range is recessed. Now a lot of like typically Chinese gear has more forward upper mid-range. This is smoother there, which is, to be honest, what I prefer. It makes things sound a bit more real. I think a lot of people have got used to with it being boosted there. I don't like that. I do like the mid-range on this, even though it is a little bit, I wouldn't say veiled, it's a bit pushed back. So I think most folks are used to having more forward mids than this. But I don't mind it at all. Some may say it's recessed overall, but I think it's fine. Makes it sound a bit more realistic really. I was quite happy with it. So treble, as you can see, there's a lot of peaks and troughs, which means there's nothing really fatiguing. But where there's like gaps is where sometimes you may miss certain instruments playing. Obviously it all depends on your music. You might like, but not exactly kick drums, but like sometimes like percussion instruments, you'd expect them probably a little bit more forward than, well, you'd expect them more forward than what you hear. I think it's because they sit in those kind of gaps means they're a little bit more recessed in the mix. But it doesn't happen all that often. I'm just being nitpicking because obviously these aren't cheap. But yeah, that's what I noticed. I do like the calmer treble, but I do like that it extends as well. So it's kind of a different set. It's what I like. I prefer a smoother treble that extends, and this does exactly that. So obviously the only negatives really is the peaks. Well, no, not peaks, the troughs, the missing bits of basically kind of audio, missing bits of data in a way that you don't hear. I found this as a small thing really in the overall sound signature. But then it all depends on what you're listening to. It may be more visible on more complex pieces of music that have a lot of instruments. For electronic music, which is I think a bit more basic in its mix, I didn't really notice it much at all. Just when there's a lot of instruments going on, you may pick it up. But overall, it's very. I think the treble again is good. It's what I like as a treble. And yeah, so I won't go on too long. But do I recommend these? Obviously, they're not cheap at £500 and something. Obviously, I will link in obviously where they're from. They're not cheap. You're kind of getting what you pay for. They are very well tuned. Again, they've done there's only 4 balanced armatures, and they've done a very nice job of overall tuning. There can be, I think some folks maybe find these a bit on the warm side, but they are, like I said, U-shaped, so not V-shaped, but U-shaped. But on the whole, I like them. They're not perfect, but on the whole, for what they've done with 4 drivers to do all that range and to get nice low end, I think they've done a very good job. I do like the overall sound. It's just that obviously these are again on the more expensive side, but yeah, they do sound pretty realistic for armatures instead of that kind of, you know what I mean. If you tried poor, cheaper balanced armatures, these don't sound like that. These sound more realistic. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. On the whole, they did work quite well for what I tried. And some casual gaming, they did sound, yeah. I was very immersed in while I was playing, which is kind of cool. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. If you want to know anything in particular about these, just let me know in the comments as per usual. And yeah, my next video is the Mangird top, or the Zen's Mangird top, which is an 8BA, I think 1 dynamic, something like that. And that's a good set. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.